Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina Clovis, special guest. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is time for our Money Monday series. Listen, y'all know I'm always excited about Mondays because, listen, running businesses are real fun, but they can get you into a lot of trouble if you don't have the knowledge and the information that is needed to protect your businesses. So Money Mondays are one of these programs that I love having on here. Love having Pastor Grant join us as she does every Monday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time to give us this enlightenment and this knowledge that we need to protect our brands. Okay.
Yes.
So Pastor Grant, welcome back to the Juice Radio and Talk Show. Thank you so much for being here again this afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. It's Money Monday again, and I'm so excited to just share information. We want to ensure that you're able to grow in every area of your lives, and that definitely includes in our finances. So I'm excited.
Yes. Now, you all know what we do here at the Juice Radio and Talk Show. Let's get into this conversation for our Money Monday series. You guys who have businesses or want to start businesses, let's go. Let's get into this free, valuable information. Today, we're talking about business insurances. Many of you, when you start these businesses, don't forget to get the business insurance. It has one of the most meaningful parts of your business. Okay, these business insurance. So let's go ahead and let's have this conversation. Pastor Grant, there are several types of business insurances out there, correct?
That is correct. And it really depends a lot on the type of business that you are in, right? Some of them, depending on the type of service that you have, will require some very specific insurance and coverages and even some bonds. One of our businesses, we actually have to have some liability bonds for the type of effort that we are providing to our clients. So depending on your level of engagement, you will need more than one type of insurance. Certainly, as a business owner, you want to have your traditional liability insurance, right? So if there's anything that happens as you operate in business, this is what you'll need to have to ensure that you are covered. Likely when you go to your local agency to gain your business license, they'll often ask you about your business insurance. So you'll need to have that kind of business owner policy insurance. If you are doing business, again, specifically in the state of Georgia, right? You need insurance. One, you want to make sure that you have the ability to cover yourself and your property. You'll need to have, if you're not home-based, right? Because if you're home-based, you're going to have your traditional home insurance. But if you're not home-based, then you'll need to have some liability property insurance because you want to ensure that if anything happens to the property itself or anyone who is in the building, who is on your property, that may have an incident, that you have coverage. And we talked about that last week. Insurance is in the event something happens, right? Just like you would have health insurance. We hope that we all stay very healthy, but there are times in our lives just for maintenance or for general care that we have to go and see a physician or a doctor. And so that's when that insurance is helpful. I hear a lot of times business owners will say, well, I may not need insurance right now. That's correct. Insurance, you may not need it right now, but you should have it because it is one of those in case of. So we're talking about you want to make sure you have your general business insurance, right? Operating. As you're operating in business, you need to have your general business. You want to also look at you as the business owner based on the type of business you're running. Should you have insurance on you as the business owner so that there's no liability attached to you personally if something were to happen. One of our other businesses, we have insurance called errors and omission insurance. What is that, you might say, Pastor Grant? That is if you make an error in a decision that could cost your business thousands and even millions of dollars. You want to make sure that you have error and omissions insurance because that covers you. We have a business where some of the cost of it is thousands of dollars. If it's a group, it's thousands. And so error not just always on our side, but also on our third party, because we're not always giving the service ourselves. We're doing it on behalf of the client who's getting the service from another third party. And
there
so
you go.
Third party has a problem. They may not have insurance, but again, your name is on the line. And so because our name is out there and we're doing it on behalf of our organization and we're using a third party to provide the service, we need errors and omission insurance, because if they make a mistake and they say, okay, what we quoted you, that quote was for that period of time, that group missed that period of time, and now here's what it is. Well, we've already extended ourselves to the client, right? And the client is expecting something different.
Yes.
And you can trigger that errors and omissions insurance, right? Because it happens. It happens not just for you personally, but also for other organizations that you operate with as a third party. But your name is on the line. I see here from someone put a comment out there, right?
Hi, Kim. That's Kim Deliver. She has a wonderful YouTube channel. Listen, yes, and she has this comment, Pastor Grant. She says that she will eventually be in need of errors and omissions insurance.
Yes.
And yes, there is. And thank you, Kim, for being here. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now,
I definitely feel like it is worthwhile to have that type of insurance on your docket. Because you want to make sure that if anything happens again, you may not have those thousands readily available to just extend out to your clients and make sure everybody's whole. That's always been our intent, right? To operate in integrity, to operate with the right Christian principles and values. And that means at times I have to take the hit, even though it may not have been on my side. It might have been one of my third parties, or it could have been one of my employees. Oh my goodness. That's why you have liability insurance for the organization. It could be an employee that made a mistake. And then I want to make sure that we have the insurance vehicle made available in the event that I need to trigger that, right? In the event that I need to use it. And so then it is made available to you. So again, those are just two that we're covering here. So you also want to make sure, based on the type of business that you have, and I see Regina is sharing right now. There are some other types of insurance. You want to scroll up?
Yes.
You want to cover off on that? Okay,
yes,
great.
this is I just Googled business insurances. A lot of companies offer it, but I put this particular one on the screen because this is the Hartford, and thanks to the Hartford for sharing this online. I put this up because it tells you the different type of business insurances. Now it has business insurance, commercial insurance, business owners policies, professional liability insurance, and it also has 8 types of insurance policies for small businesses to consider. And it goes over the same things that Pastor Grant mentioned: liability insurance, commercial property insurance, business income insurance, professional liability insurance, workers' compensation insurance. There's also this one, data breach.
Yeah, that is new. Data breach insurance, right? You didn't hear anything about that many years back. But now that we have a lot of identity theft, now that we have a lot of fraud, we have a lot of cyber threats. So the ability to have that data breach insurance may be helpful for your industry and what you're working in. Perhaps you're a consultant and you have others who are operating in private data, or you might be a developer or a systems analyst and you're working as a contractor. It might be necessary for your business to have data breach, because they may say, because you were a part of the activity, it may not, again, and I keep saying this because people feel like, well, I'm not planning to do anything like that. We never plan to be involved in any type of incident. Even when you have a car incident, you don't leave the house that day planning to have an accident. It happens. It happens. And so even with the data breach, insurance, it happened. And so you want to make sure that you have the appropriate coverage if your business is doing that type of service. While it might not have been you, you might not have been the person who directly executed it or created, but there is a result of doing that type of business. There's some levels of insurance that just comes with the territory. It's not you specifically. It's just like a doctor. A doctor has a very heavy load of liability insurance that they have to have because of the line of business that they're in. It is extreme when an error is made and you are a physician. It is extreme when an error is made and maybe you are a truck driver. These are not the kind of incidents that happen and it's very minor. It's normally very extreme. Data breaches are normally very extreme because there's significant impact because there are millions of records that are now made available to sources who did not have the authority or the privilege to have access to this information. And so you want to make sure that you consider that, right? You want to make sure that you look. The next one is on there about the commercial umbrella, right? Making sure that if you have certain commercial insurance and they have limitations, you might want to have an umbrella. What is that? That is an extension to what you already have in the event you cap out. So you have to remember a lot of insurances also have a limitation on your initial policy. And it's just like health insurance. Sometimes you might have a health insurance and they often ask you, do you have a secondary insurance as well? Right? They want to know, is somebody else liable for helping us pay this bill? And so a lot of times if we're having a major surgery, you might tap out on what you allowed or afforded for that particular year. And so then you can now tap into any umbrella or any secondary insurance that you might have that gives you the ability to finance and to cover that particular event. And so that's what a lot of times these umbrella insurances come about to help you as an extension of what you already have. And then, of course, commercial auto insurance, we have that. One of our businesses, it involves driving people. It involves driver students, driver training. And so you have to have insurance and commercial insurance on a commercial business. When you're operating as a business, you're no longer covered general liability using your car when you're carrying other people. Okay, when you're carrying other people, you now have moved into commercial. So you have to make sure that you're getting the right insurance, even though you might have auto insurance. Is that the right insurance for your particular business, right? And so you want to make sure that you are now getting the commercial insurance so that you can carry that forward. So again, a lot of things depend on your industry. Think about those people who are operating as a accountant or an auditor. They are liable for the work that they do on behalf of others. And so they have to have this type of insurance to cover them for their business in the event something happens. Again, so we talked about covering your property. If you have a property that you are leveraging, it is so important. You never know. Someone might fall if there's something wet. Someone might hurt themselves if they're using equipment there. There might be other issues that could occur in the building itself. You know, in the state of Georgia, we recently experienced some significant weather. So you might be impacted from that. You might be impacted from a bursted pipe, right? That could create a lot of significant damage or a call for some renovation in your building. So you want to ensure that you have insurance in place. Yes, the property should also have their own insurance. I hear people saying that. All right. Thank you, Lord. Yes, the property should have their own, but they're going to say that there's some liabilities that belong to you as having a lease in that space, right? And they're going to want to have you leverage your insurance in some instances. Maybe it might be due to the cap that you might have set in your agreement. It may be due to the liabilities that they have set already. Initially, it might be, again, something that happened at the resulting from someone in your business, some of your team, one of your clients. So as a result, you need your own. I would never depend on someone else's insurance when I'm operating the business, because some insurance may take additional time. Some insurance may require some additional effort, and you want to be able to move swiftly through your process. You can do that when you have your own and not have to operate and wait on someone else. So you'll find oftentimes one event will pay for the insurance that you just purchased, right? Because most of these events are, again, significant. You don't traditionally hit or trigger, engage your insurance when it's something very small that you can do with your
Mhm.
own available cash flow out of your own operating expense. And you have a line item that says this is this particular item. But normally for an event of significant impact, you would have to trigger, engage your insurance. And so you want to make
Yes,
sure that that insurance is available to do that and that you have the appropriate coverage to do so.
that's right.
Especially these days, you have your own professional liability. Again, we talked about the errors and omissions. We talked about the commercial insurance, cyber liability, right? We talked about the data breach. It's also called cyber liability. So you might want to do that. If you have a board of directors, if you're operating in the capacity where a board of directors have been established, you might want to consider that as a liability, right? Because you have some of those who are managing the organization. You want to make sure that stockholder interest is always taken into account. And so this just recognizes that the competency of the managing board, if there are any decisions that need to be defended in the court of law,
Mhm.
this type of insurance, and you can trigger their support if you have to do so. So again, all of these insurances are primarily coverage. They are to ensure the solvency of the business. You don't want to have an event that causes the business to have to shutter, right?
Oh no. Ooh, you
You don't
don't
want
want
to
to
have
do
an
that.
event
Mm-mm.
that causes you, is so significant in cost and to reputation that it causes you to have to shutter, to close down. You want to be able to have this insurance in place so that the business remains solvent, it remains intact, and you're able to continue forward. You'll find this. That's why a lot of people, when they have a personal lawsuit, they attempt to do a lot of that closure with remediation and shut it down.
Right.
They try and do a lot of that behind the scenes. They use their insurance, they use their legal staff because they want to make sure that their reputation stays intact. They want to make
Yes.
sure that their organization remains solvent, that their client base considers them to be honest and full of integrity. And so when there's an attack or a threat that comes about, they attempt to use those instruments that are made available to them in order to close that down as quickly
Absolutely.
as possible.
As quickly as possible. So you guys, you have to think of it this way. You do have health insurance for those of us that have health insurance. And there's a lot of people that would love to have health insurance. We're going to do information on that also here on the Juice Radio and Talk Show on our Money Monday series. But right now we're talking about the business insurance. This is when you build businesses, these are considered your babies. You want to protect them. You want to keep them protected at all times. Business insurance is one of the most valuable tools that you're going to give to your business. So when you're creating the name, like we taught you, when you're creating the LLC, as we talked about here on one of our previous videos, as we talked about so many other things, business insurance is needed. Now, you may say you're not sure which business insurance is the right insurance for your company. All you have to do is reach out to insurance carriers and ask them what their thoughts are regarding to your questions as far as what your business is, because there are going to be some different types of insurances for different types of businesses, especially when you're creating businesses that require you to have licensing and other types of laws and stuff, for not laws, but other types of insurance industries. For instance, some accountants, professional, they may need to have a professional liability insurance. So depending on the type of business that you have, you may need to have less insurance or more insurance. But every company needs at least a form of insurance.
Yes.
And that's when that general liability comes in. It is very important. Now, I dropped the link to the Hartford. I see in the chat that Kevin Delivers says that she sells insurance and she wants to go independent. So, we'll also be connecting with people who are also selling insurance, having knowledge of that, but you can reach out to several. I also want to give a plug to an insurance carrier by the name of Allstate. I do love Allstate. And what I love about the carrier Allstate is, especially with the lady that I work with, her name is Donna. She's my rep and has been my rep for decades. And what she'll do, she'll tell you, hey, if Allstate doesn't cover it, she'll steer you into a direction of someone that can. because they're not here just to say, no, we can't do it. They're here to make sure that you get what you are looking for in the insurance industry. Okay. And we here at the Juice Radio and Talk Show are here to help you get what you need for your business. So if you're just tuning into this program, or if you're just seeing this live, or if you're watching the replay, make sure that you go back at the top of this video, start it and watch it, and get all the valuable tips that Pastor Grant has shared with us today on this. Pastor Grant, did you have some more tips and tools on this real quick? Because I do want to promote something before this video ends.
Most definitely. Again, as Regina and I have mentioned, it depends on the type of service that you're providing, how much of a touch point you are with your client. If you are a brick and mortar, or if you're home based, you need to consider all of those as you pursue the insurance and understand what is necessary, and then see what is needed. So a lot of times we get stuck right there. We get stuck on, what do I have to have in order to open this business? And that's the beginning, right? That's just the beginning. So I want to encourage you, don't stop right there. What do you need to stay solvent? What do you need if something were to happen? What is the likelihood? What is the most likelihood of an event to occur for your business? And that's why we're saying data breach may not be for everybody, but it might be something for you that you need to consider. That might be a true opportunity, an area you want to make sure that you have coverage for, right? It may not be where you're using an auto in your business. For someone who's doing delivery or doing transportation or doing driving teaching, and your car is leveraged with your commercial business, you want to consider that. Because if the car is down and you don't have the appropriate insurance in order to have it repaired, because you were doing business in it, your personal auto insurance may not cover that particular incident. Because when they research it and they find out what was happening, how did that incident occur, you may find yourself with a difficult issue in getting that car repaired. And so you don't want to find yourself there, right? You don't want to say, okay, I can skirt through with this for now. And sometimes we may find ourselves there, but we want to make sure that we eventually get ourselves where we need to be, so that the business has the opportunity to grow, that it has the opportunity to move forward. And so those are the things that you want to consider as you identify what insurance is needed. I love what Regina said. Going to one of your own, the insurance carrier that you have today may also do commercial, may also do business. I always say, look at opportunities to leverage relationships you already have. There's often an opportunity for cost savings. There's often opportunity to make it a more streamlined process, right? We talked about it earlier. If you're going to get a loan, who are you already banking with? Who is it that you already have a relationship that can make it easier? We're talking about being more efficient, being more effective, and building our brand. You do that a lot of times with the relationships you already have. Here's where I'm launching out at. That's what I do. When we are starting, the Lord is leading us to do something new, I go to the people I'm already working with. Hey, here's our current idea. Here's what we're working on. What can you do for me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I also want to say this, and then I want to give you guys some information on what Pastor Grant has coming up. Now, Pastor Grant is a real pastor. That's not just a name on her, not just a title. I'm sorry, on her name. She's a real pastor. Her ministry is My Father's House Pentecostal Church in Riverdale, Georgia. She's got some great events coming up. I'm going to share that information, but I want to include this little plug for the insurances. The Hartford has in their link that they have up here, there's very important information. It says it's important to make sure you're familiar with your state business insurance laws, because you want to make sure that you are having insurance according to what the law requires your business to carry. Now, there are some companies, some organizations out there that the law requires you to have certain types of insurances. So these are not electives.
Yes.
You must obtain and maintain certain insurances for your corporation. If you do not, you will now be not complying with the laws of the business, what the state requires. And that can get you into a whole bunch of trouble that you don't want to get into. So while you're out here also getting insurance for your company, make sure that you check with what your law requires in your state, in your county, or in your city, because they all may require something different. But that's a very Very valuable tip as well. And make sure you're working with an insurance company that you trust and that is reliable, because you want to make sure that you get this right. Now, Pastor Grant has some amazing events coming up, and I want to share this information with you all. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know here. Sunday, she has a youth in action program. I'm sorry, is it this Sunday, Pastor Grant? The 24th. Yes, this Sunday coming up. The 24th of September, they have a youth in action program. You can get all of this information from their website at My Father's House, their Facebook page, My Father's House Pentecostal Church. You guys, they're right there in Riverdale, Georgia. If you cannot attend, we ask that you please share this information that someone is in the Georgia area so that they can attend. There's also this one, September 24th, Sunday, from 2 to 4 p.m., the Financial Health Seminar. This is a great seminar because this is going to be giving you more information than we've been covering here on our Money Monday. This is a seminar free to the public. Everyone can attend. It is September 24th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Riverdale location of My Father's House Pentecostal Church. She also has several other programs. I left these on here because they run these, I think, every month. They run these great men in ministry. The men in ministry program is so amazing. Men out there, listen, Pastor Melvin Harris, he's going to help you guys, because sometimes men get real quiet. They don't want to share what they're going through. They don't want to have the conversation. But you get in this forum with Pastor Melvin Harris, and he's going to help you to open up. There's also a great community discipleship program that she has. We know this is not all part of what we say Money Monday, but this is all part of building yourselves up so that you can get those brands and businesses built up. Community discipleship is Saturday, September 30th from 1 to 2 p.m. You guys go out there and help them at this event. Help My Father's House Pentecostal Church. It is so important for us to go out to the community and let them know that there are people out here that are concerned for them and that we also want them to grow as well. This community discipleship is going to be September 30th at 1 to 2 p.m. For more information, go to My Father's House Pentecostal Church Facebook page. I do have the information and description in our description page. All of that is in this video in the description page. Make sure you check that out. And while y'all doing that, if you have any questions or if you missed any of this information, you can always go to our email. Email us for more information. Some of you may say, well, I'm not into emailing. I do inboxing. Well, you can inbox us on all of our programs here that we have, all of these platforms that we have, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of that. Just know if you inbox us, it may take me a few days to get back to it because we are running on about 10 different channels. And I'm the one that's checking all that. I am looking for a social media manager to help to come on to the Juice Radio and Talk Show. But the best way to reach out to me is going to be on an email, which is checked several times throughout the day. And that's at the Juice Radio and Talk Show at gmail.com. Pastor Grant, thank you so very much. I'm excited about these events you have coming up. I will be there in attendance, and I'm telling you, I am so proud of what not only you are doing, but what you and everyone at My Father's House Pentecostal Church is doing. You are doing something that is going to reach the masses in Jesus' name. And we're going to turn homelessness around. We're going to turn debt around. We're going to turn all this around because it is time for all of God's people to grow in finance and no more of the poverty mentality. The Bible tells us we will always have the poor among us, but it did not say that you have to be one of the poor. Come on now. You could be one that takes care of them. And that's what we're building over here at the Juice Radio and Talk Show for these Money Monday series. Pastor Grant, thank you so much. Do you have any closing words before we log out of here?
I just want to encourage everyone to take the opportunity to revisit what you already have as far as insurance for your business as you're operating. If you're a new start, as you are operating on your business plan, make sure you review that so that you can include the expenses in your operating expense budget, and so that you'll be prepared and know that these are necessary. What we mentioned today, make sure that you evaluate on your corporate website where you go and get your business license. You can gain information about what's necessary to do your business when you operate with your local county or city, as you get your business license to operate and open, they'll have other requirements as well. Don't become constrained by the things you have to do to get to purpose. Right? I want to encourage you, because sometimes we can look at it, it can be overwhelming. But you eat the elephant one bite at a time. As you tick mark off, as you plan, as you write the plan and you put a check by, you say, that's done. Now I keep moving. You keep moving. So don't get stuck in the process. Patience, consistency, and focus leads to progress. So we want to encourage you today on Money Monday.
Thank y'all so very much for watching. And remember, come on back here next week, Monday, same time, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, for more information on how you can get your business to flourish and make sure that you're doing your business the right way, this tongue twister today, so that you can be successful at business. And think of this, you guys, the business that you're growing today may be the one that's helping employ others tomorrow. So make sure that you're doing that business right so that it can stand the test of time and the endurance. All right. Thank y'all so very much for being here. Y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you back on the next one. All right, y'all. Good night. I'm sorry. Goodbye. I'm so busy. Bye, y'all.
A heartfelt thank you to all of our subscribers who joined us for this video. If you have not already subscribed, go to our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Subscribe and click on the notification bell to be alerted whenever we go live. Join our private Juice community. Go to www.thejuicecommunity.com and sign up for free. Join us, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. We have our Money Monday financial series. It is a lunch and learn program at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Also on Monday, we have our reality series and hot topics at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, we have Bible study at 7:30 p.m. Thursdays, we have church news at 7:30 p.m. We also offer motivational moments, happy marriage lifestyle, news from a godly perspective, movie reviews, as well as our single moms club, Let's Talk Ex-Millennials, and of course, our Cooking with Clovis. Follow us on our podcast channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show Podcast, streaming on all podcast platforms. A great big thank you to our podcast production company, Noye Podcast Productions. They can help you create your own podcast also. Contact them today at houseofnoye.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Custom Apparel Shop. Have them complete your embroidery work and silk screening needs. Do you need a logo created for your fashion apparel or company? Contact Israel Mason today. That is 786-657-7501. Thank you to our main sponsor, Truth and Triumph Ministries. Truth and Triumph Ministries, a ministry that cares about telling people the truth so they can triumph in life. Thank you, Truth and Triumph Ministries, for all you do.